Hello and welcome to Money Talks. I'm your host, Ed Marshall. Can you believe it is December 2016? Well, in our first story that we have for you, they say where there's smoke, there's often fire. And that is certainly the case in Algiers, but it's an economic story. We'll tell you more after this.
Weeknights at midnight on LAE.
Well, obviously, this is Everything Holiday, and welcome back to Money Talks. We certainly hope you have a wonderful holiday season during this entire month of December. I have with me now a very good friend of mine, but someone who's doing some remarkable things in the Algiers area, and it is the one and only Executive Director of the Algiers Economic Development Foundation, Mr. Derek Martin. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much. It's always a privilege and an honor to be here on your show to talk about things that's happening in our community.
Definitely. You know, sometimes people forget that Algiers is part of New Orleans.
Indeed, it is the only Orleans Parish community on the West Bank.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, there's been some exciting things going on over this whole year,
Sure.
And of course, we've got something very important coming up, which is the annual bonfire.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed.
tell our audience who may not know about the bonfire, what it is, and how long you all been doing it.
Well, I tell you, the bonfire, the Algiers Bonfire Concert has been active now for probably 15, 20 years, and I've been at the helm of it for the past 4 years. And it is really probably the largest showing of community support in Algiers. We have the New Orleans Fire Department, New Orleans Police Department, of course, all of our sponsors such as First NBC. We all come together and we put on a show that is second to none. Last year was phenomenal. We had nearly 15,000 people show up. Typically we have 3,000 or 4,000.
Yeah.
Last year the weather was beautiful. We had a 35-foot Christmas tree. And what we're doing this year, if we can depend on the weather to be as great as it was or even close to what it was last year, the new structure that we're building by the NOLA Burner team is absolutely incredible. We're expecting at least 15,000 again.
Oh yeah, 'cause, I mean, I was out there. It was unbelievable. People were having a great time. People didn't want to go home after the whole thing had, burned down.
Absolutely. You know, the critical aspect of it is that 15,000 people, plus or minus, we estimate about 35 to 40% are folks that would never come to the West Bank. So it is an opportunity for us to actually attract new folks from the East Bank as far as Baton Rouge to come out, see what's going on in Algiers. And of course, when you bring people, you have food, you have vendors, you have restaurants. Now we're really getting to economic development because of the spending.
Right. And we certainly want to let people know that your sponsors, they do it so this can be a free event for people, the public.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is one of the many free events that we do in Algiers. First NBC as our lead sponsor, you know, they pretty much underwrite the entire thing, and that way we get families to come out, and there's no cost. All you have to do is just come out.
We want to make sure people know that it is supervised with the fire department, all that, so people don't have to worry about stuff like that. And the actual dates, and if people want more information on it, how do they contact you guys?
So they can do a couple of things. Reach out to us on our website, the Bonfire website, which is www.algiersbonfire.com. Or they can come to our homepage, which is algierseconomic.com. Right. Or they can call our office, 504-362-6436.
And when is the actual date of the bonfire?
It's this Saturday, December the 3rd.
Okay.
Starts at 5:30, the lighting of the fire. We'll tell you what, we won't talk about when the lighting of the fire, because some people just shows up for the lighting of the fire.
Right.
But that's really the grand finale. Right. But 5:30 is when we're going to start. We have the bag of donuts showing up.
Yeah.
It's family-friendly fun. And of course, we're going to have a second line through Landry Walker's marching band.
Super.
Phenomenal lineup.
Super. And of course, the show is going to run throughout December. So in case you see a repeat, you'll know that it may have already happened, but it'll give you a chance to kind of incite you to come the next year.
December 3rd, 2017 is the key.
Exactly. And I want to thank you and the rest of the board for offering me an opportunity to become a member of the foundation. Appreciate that.
It's only fitting, Ed. First NBC has truly been a pillar of support in the community. not just from lending to small businesses, but what we do to drive and attract new businesses to Algiers. And it's only fitting that we ask one of First NBC's own to join our board. So thank you for accepting that invitation.
We appreciate that. And we look forward to working with you and the other great people that you have on that board. And we're going to go to break right now, but in the meantime, Santa's going to do a little performance on piano. I wish I could play like that.
Not a worry in the world.
There you go.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Well, welcome back to Money Talks. We want to talk about how to be safe during the holiday season, and the person who we always have on is our Executive Director and CEO of Crime Stoppers here, and that's Ms. Darlene Costanza. Darlene, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Before we talk about the holidays, though, as you look back on 2016, kind of give us a report card on some of the things you feel like Crime Stoppers has helped accomplish in terms of curbing crime.
Absolutely. I know we've gotten with several of the high-profile cases, particularly the hit and run of the young man, Josh Woodruff. I mean, we, on that particular case alone, even though it's not solved, the family knew that the community reached out. I mean, we had over 120 tips on that particular homicide, which is a vehicular homicide, I guess. Horrible, horrible incident. The other thing I think we saw, particularly with our public perception poll that was taken, and NOPDs, is that people are coming forward and are calling our hotline or speaking to NOPD, police in general, more. So even though we've seen some negative things in the news, I think people, the majority of the people understand the importance of the role that they play.
And I think that becomes because they've seen the trust in you all over the years, trust in us, rather, since I'm on your board.
Sure,
the
absolutely.
trust in that whole situation,
Right.
that we really say what we mean, that your identity is kept secret.
Critical that the process is proven. It's been there for, I've been there 21 years, so more than 21 years, like 38 years. And it's international. So yeah, the trust is there, and it's the fact that we are a voice, we are a partner.
Yeah.
So what better place can you be than starting with your partners?
And what I can appreciate is that you work with the DA, you work with the police, you work with the sheriffs, the FBI, all the pieces of law enforcement.
All levels, and that's important because crime knows no city lines. So for us to be able to have that regional approach, both up and down, from federal all the way to local, is critical.
It is.
Our information is shared across all boundaries, and that's why we get the results we do.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's the holiday season, this whole month of December, and sometimes people, they let the guards down. They've got packages, they've got this, they got food, they got kids. Talk to us, and hopefully they will hear you and adhere to some of the
Definitely.
steps.
We don't want to have a Grinch come in and steal
No.
your money and ruin your holiday season. First thing I always say is limit your vulnerability. And the way you do that is to limit the number of credit cards you're going to use, and certainly cash. And when you bring that with you, you're going to put it in a secure place. So that means in front of your body, in a zipped or closed area, purse or wallet, again, in front of you. The things that you see happening, particularly whether it's credit card fraud, but you see people pickpockets because it's busy crowds in the malls. So when anything's behind you, you're a little bit more vulnerable.
Right.
Don't overcarry packages. I mean, how many of us are guilty of this? 10, 20 packages, we run into the mall, and we put something down, in just a quick second, somebody can run by and grab that package.
I mean, it's amazing how quickly they can get.
It is amazing. A good pickpocket, you never know,
That's
and they're
right.
gone.
That's right.
So don't carry so much. Bring it back to your car, or have a shopping buddy.
There you go.
Strength in numbers. And then when you exit that mall or exit the shopping area, you want to park in a well-lit area. You don't want to leave things on in open view, and you need to lock your vehicle. Yeah. Really, the number one problem is people not locking their vehicles.
I'm amazed at that.
It is amazing.
but people,
oh, they
sometimes
leave it right
just leave it
there.
and they put these big gifts right sitting in the passenger seat or whatever, and then they walk and say, I got to go get something else. I'm like,
it's like, let's not let people come and shop out of your car.
Right. That's
so they're
like
looking
that.
for their Christmas
That's good.
presents. So make sure that you secure it, lock it in a trunk, put it in an area that's not going to be seen. And again, park in a well-lit area and park in a traveled area.
Yeah.
Don't park at the very end of a lot where nobody else is walking. You want to be in crowds. You want to be seen. You want to make sure that you know who's around you.
Right.
Mall security, shopping security is wonderful. Law enforcement does really a great job with this, but common sense is our best protection.
And let's put up our website in case people want to get in touch. And of course, we take volunteers, and especially in our school programs where we try to teach young people.
Definitely, and we also take Christmas gifts like
Yes.
donations.
Yes.
So the website for Crime Stoppers is crimestoppersgno.org. It's important, the GNO for Greater New Orleans. That hotline number, the 822-1111, will get tips to us. If you want to call us and give us anything, your time, treasure, talent, suggestions, our number is 837-8477. And yes, we do have multiple teen programs. We always start with a holistic approach, starting with the youth. So if you have youth that are interested in law enforcement or criminal justice, call us.
And again, the donations that people want to give, they go toward that, put into the tip situation where when we get a tip,
Absolutely.
it can help pay that money out.
Definitely, it's all about victim services, and I do really want to thank First NBC Bank because they have been a champion for our youth program, and that's where we need to be. We need to be working with our kids, showing them the right path. So thank you for that too.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Have a good holiday. Wish you well, and we'll see you in 2017.
Same to you.
Can you believe that?
I can.
Okay. New Orleans is seeing a phenomenal rebirth of its downtown area. Unlike the past, where most of the economic activity was from business, large commercial structures are now literally home for residents wanting to live in the heart of the city. Allison Chalmette asked community leader Ashton Ryan with the Ask Ashton segment what he sees as a reason people are being attracted back to the urban lifestyle. Here's what Ashton had to say.
I think there are really two factors. The first factor is starting in the late 40s and early 50s, we started suburbanization. And we've got further and further and further away from the central core where the jobs were. And there's a natural changeover that people now value their time. And so the commutes in New York are 2 or 3 hours. We don't get there in New Orleans, but we know even in New Orleans you can spend 45 minutes to an hour and a half to 2 hours depending on where you live. So the commute time is the big issue. People want more of their time available for using it for their own purposes and not sitting in a car. We don't have mass transit in this area that allows New York to able to mitigate some of that. The second thing is the younger people just have a different style of life, and they're interested. They're called millennials, and they really are different, and they're really focused on their own life and working together in groups, being able to have rapid access to great entertainment, great food. They like and enjoy that as well as doing work. So it's really good balance. And lastly is the people that cut grass for 30 and 40 years and had to mow a lawn and do a lot of care and gardening and everything. Those people are now coming back in the city. So it's a really funny, kind of a funny environment. It's all of a without kids generation. The younger people that they haven't had kids yet, and the older generation that they're empty nesters, the kids are gone, and they're both liking the ambiance of living in an urban area with a lot of positives. Now we got some infrastructure to build. We still don't have a lot of grocery stores and drug stores and the things that they need in order to keep them here in a long time. But I think that's a real key for our future is you will see increased urbanization. And with the old buildings being converted into these new uses that are very economical, that's also good for our city because you don't have the rot and buildings that are falling apart, that are collapsing. Those are all being taken down, not knocked down, but rehabbed and turned into something that's more economical in terms of economic use. So I think it's a great fun thing, and it's exciting for New Orleans because it's a great historical city with a lot of things to offer people that live downtown.
And if you have a question for the Ask Ashton segment, feel free to go to our Facebook, Money Talks with Ed Marshall. Also, we'd like to congratulate Ashton on something else. He received a prestigious award from the Association of Fundraising Professionals for all of the work that he does in our community. Well done. And I want to tell you now about what's called a Legacy of Love with Oriette DeLille and the Sisters of the Holy Family. It's a historical look at a congregation of African-American nuns who spent their lives caring for the poor and elderly and enslaved in New Orleans. And it airs throughout the month of December as well into 2017. This is a wonderful order, the Order Sisters of the Holy Family. And it's a historical piece, and I'm appreciative to be a part of the producers on this wonderful documentary with Jim Dotson as well as Ron Yeager. So be on the lookout for it because it'll be airing, and it's a piece of history you don't want to miss. We'll be back after this. Hello, I'm Ed Marshall, money coach and host of the Money Talk Show. Our goal each month is to keep you informed on financial issues affecting you and your family. Whether it's concerns about the stock market, mortgages, local community initiatives, or decisions made on Capitol Hill, we do our best to bring you news that you can use. So join me for Money Talks every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. right here on WLAE. And we're back. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to work with two wonderful ladies, Carol Wise and Janice Chaffin, on forming what's called the Circles of Excellence Awards. And they're given out at Delgado to special alumni who have done great things and have actually stayed in the community and given back. It's continued throughout the years. Recently, the 2016 group was selected for this prestigious award, and we wanted to introduce them to you right here on our show. Take a look.
I'm Benoit, and I graduated from Delgado in 1994 from the Allied Health Program, the Diagnostic Medical Sonography Program. I am currently working for GE Healthcare as an application specialist, so I train people on ultrasound equipment. Delgado prepared me to excel in my career. I started off in the hospital scanning patients for 12 years, and now I've been with GE, been able to see the corporate side of the medical field. I've just been able to see how the program has grown. The systems they have now are sometimes better than the hospital system. So the sonographers today, the students that are learning today, are learning on the top of the line equipment. And it's been a pleasure for me to go back to school every year and work with the students.
I am Marla Donovan, and I am a retiree of the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, but most importantly, I am a graduate of Delgado Community College in Business Administration, May 1984. I was a banker even before I finished my associate degree, and then eventually I went into the Federal Reserve Bank already with my bachelor's, and I was the bank auditor for 25 years. Always from the time I was a little girl, I loved the arts, and I will go to exhibitions, and I will paint, and I will do some ceramics. I am a clay artist, so I do a sculpt, and I do anything that is done with clay. When I retired 5.5 years ago, I started giving classes to mentally challenged people and children, and that is how I made the transition. Art is in my heart.
My name is Michelle Gobert, and I am the owner of Signs Now. We are a graphic solutions company specializing in design, production, and installation of signs and banners. And I participated in Goldman Sachs' 4th cohort of 10,000 small businesses. We've had the privilege of working with thousands and thousands of small businesses throughout the city of New Orleans. We help them build their brand by designing their logos, business cards, letterhead, and helping them to understand how important that brand is as they carry their marketing efforts forward. In addition, we have had the opportunity to work with the NFL and the Super Bowl for the last 20 years. But once you get involved in a small business, it kind of consumes your life. So when this program came along, it was like that opportunity for me to get that mini executive MBA kind of experience that I'd always been wanting. I think the biggest takeaway for me from the Goldman Sachs program was just how important it is to implement processes within your business and actually adhere to those processes once you set them in place. You have to be very astute and be able to see when your industry is changing.
My name is Nick Selby, and I went through the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program at Delgado Community College in New Orleans. And I'm one of the partners of Uncorked. We are an import company, and we specialize in wine, spirits, and beer. What the program did for me was refocus my efforts, so I'm kind of more of the big picture person now. Go in with an open mind, listen to what they say, take the knowledge, and then apply it to your business the way you feel it fits best. I think that's what we did, and that's what made us successful. My mentor was David Payton, so he was the person I worked with the most. But across the board, if you called someone, if you emailed them, you always got a response. They were always there for you, and they truly made you feel like not that they just cared about you or their job in general, they cared about your company and the success of your company.
My name is I.M. Tucker. I took part in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. The name of my business is Ilse Engineering. We're a civil engineering and construction management firm. I took over the business from my father about 8 years ago. And while I grew up in it, there were certain things that I didn't know. And I always say, sometimes you just don't know what you just don't know. The Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program helped me to reignite my drive for my business. I would leave the modules and the classroom modules that day and implement things in my business that afternoon. That's how excited I was about everything. I didn't realize how invested in the community Delgado is. With the amount of work that's coming to the state of Louisiana in terms of coastal development and coastal restoration, Delgado can play a huge part in the community as far as training and workforce development. And it's a way to help uplift our economy. It's a way to help uplift the city, because you don't have to have a 4-year degree to do a lot of these things. And if you can go and get a good certificate program or a good 2-year degree program and go and make a great living for your family, that's what this economy needs. That's what New Orleans needs. That's what everybody needs.
I am Dr. Monica Johnson. I am a December 1993 graduate of Charity Delgado School of Nursing, and I am currently an associate professor of nursing at the University of Holy Cross. I can remember from being a little girl, being a nurse is all I've ever wanted to be, and it truly has fulfilled my life completely. Now being a professor of nursing, it's my chance to influence and mentor the future of our profession and kind of give back and thank all of the mentors that I've had in my career. My biggest mentor at Charity Delgado School of Nursing has been Dr. Cheryl Myers, who is the current dean, and she really has worked with me to help develop me into the educator that I am today.
My name is Teresa Lawrence. I am the owner of Delta Personnel. I graduated from the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses in 2012 here at Delgado Community College. I was cautious about doing it, and I didn't think I wanted to do it. But let me tell you, once I did it and once I jumped in full force, it was the best investment that I've ever done of my time in my life. Once you're in the program, you become so involved with the group of owners that are taking a huge interest in your business, not just the professors who are there to give you the most long-lasting, sustainable tools available in the market. But for me, what was important for me was, how do I market myself? How do I grow up and become a better company? And my little group and my great professor started, breaking down the pieces, and they thought, Teresa, what you really do for a living is you solve labor pains.
My name is Darian Clark. I'm the owner of Smoothies and Things Cafe, and I went through the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses course. I was in cohort 3. It helped my business tremendously. It definitely gave me discipline. When I started the program, I had 2 locations. I've grown to 10 locations since then, so it was definitely helpful. It taught me how to be more organized and disciplined. It really helped me with my growth plan. I have 5 locations in Alabama, Tampa, Florida, 3 locations here in Louisiana. I'm from Baton Rouge. My business is here in New Orleans, so I didn't know a lot about the college, but now that I've been through it, I see that it's an amazing place. And I've been telling a lot of people, my business associates, I've been telling them about the 10,000 Small Businesses program, so that if they're interested in growing their business, I think it's definitely a necessary process.
Awards that are well-deserved. And on another note, we extend a heartfelt goodbye to a New Orleans icon, community leader, and restaurateur, Edgar Dookie Chase, Jr., who passed away in November. He, along with his lovely and gracious wife, Miss Leah, built the family restaurant, Dookie Chase's, into a New Orleans landmark. The world-renowned dining experience became a presidential favorite with the likes of U.S. Presidents Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and President Barack Obama. In its early years, the restaurant was also a meeting place for civil rights organizers, including Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Although known for wonderful food, Mr. Chase was also noted locally for his love of music and jazz performances. He started playing trumpet at a young age and eventually established the Dookie Chase Orchestra, which included his sister Doris as vocalist and Mr. Chase. He was 88. We'll be back.
Mondays at 6 p.m. on WLAE.
Well, there's always something happening that's exciting at the Jefferson Performing Arts Society, and this month is all about the Nutcracker. Here's the maestro.
Well, you know, JPAS is all over the community, not only here in our beautiful new Jefferson Performing Arts Center, in which we are the resident artistic company, so proud of that moniker, but also we are on the West Wego Performing Arts Theater and Teatro Wego. Now, for the rest of the month, of course, we have our annual production of the Nutcracker. More than 100 actors, dancers, children are involved in this production. They're drawn from throughout the metropolitan area. Auditions began in August. We had rehearsals throughout we had rehearsals the following months, and we're ready to do another performance of Nutcracker with live symphony orchestra, and once again I have the opportunity to conduct the orchestra. So come see the beautiful Nutcracker, last year's award-winning by the Big Easy Awards, outstanding ballet production, December 17th and 18th here in our beautiful Jefferson Performing Arts Center.
Well, that's going to do it for our show. It's the end of 2016. I hope you enjoy your holiday season. As we leave you, we want to leave you with some pictures and wonderful music that shows how other people can lend people who are less fortunate a helping hand. Take care.